All right, so I did have a question for you guys real quick. I wanted to find out, what's your hope with Cusick Gallery? Like, are you hoping to move forward with anything? Like, are you planning to make it bigger? Selling products, anything?
No.
Nope.
I think so.
We have enough.
There's enough to do.
I've always felt like I did not want this gigantic thing. I wanted it to be homegrown. I wanted it to be closeness. You know, when we had a message board, it was phenomenal. And we talked about maybe doing that again. The message board as it is right now is not functional. But Zoom and Instagram kind of take that space up. So on one hand, there's no privacy. We had privacy in the other one. That you had to be a member to be able to read what was going on. And
to participate, right?
and we asked people not to share outside of the board and those sorts of things. But I just don't know. Like, I'm just never had the, and I welcome anybody who wants to start a website in Ian's name, in Ian's honor. Absolutely. Like, that is the best thing, because the more, and there was a Brazilian website. They had a bunch of, you'd find stuff on other people's sites. We'd share stuff. It was so much fun. So maybe as he gets more shows, that'll happen again, you know, but I don't have designs on
doing more than what we do.
The only downside is the ability to share videos. Like, we don't do a lot of GIFs and videos, although that's because I don't really know technically enough to do it well. And we've kind of lost our tech person. She used to be just kind of in the background, and she's been busy with her new job and stuff. We can't host any of the episodes because of copyright. Right. So that sets us back a bit. And it's good for people to get out there and search for themselves and see what they can find, because that's exciting. That's the fun part we had in building.
That's how,
like,
that's
oh, I got something new, you know. So we're always excited when someone finds something we didn't see.
That was so much
and I
fun
hope
back
that,
in the day.
Yeah, I hope it feels that way to the fans, that it's like a sharing thing. Like, we don't own him. We don't pretend to own him in any way, shape, or form. We just were the first, and fairly big. And
you guys do watch his back,
because of Lost, I think we got so big so quickly. That's where the majority of his fans came from, and then from there the 100. But
no, we do have his back, and that's just because we know him in a personal way as well. Like, we're very protective of fake accounts or people.
Oh my God, that's so annoying. All these fake accounts.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so invasive, because you take someone that doesn't know social media that well, and they think they're talking to the real Ian, and this person's talking really dirty.
Yeah.
It can cause a problem for the man.
Wait, I just gotta say, one night, Lulu, Tina, Chrissy, and I were all talking, and I suddenly get this message, and it's like, "Hi, Sunshine. I'm sure you're shocked to be hearing from me, but like." It's like, "This is Ian. I just want to, and I'm like,
done that.
So Tina said, "You know what? Say, I am shocked because I'm talking to him right now."
Oh, that would have been perfect.
I gotta tell you, I really am shocked because I am talking to him right now on the other line.
Yeah,
and so the person didn't respond, and then the girls were like, "Call him, call the phone right now," because it was on Instagram. So I called, and immediately, like, they didn't answer, like they didn't call. We thought that was so funny. And then we messaged you guys and said, "Just so you know, there's a fake account out," and like.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say for Cusick Gallery, I think you guys, you do a real service to the man. I think you're very supportive of the fans. Kathy got me followed by Ian. You help get people's work noticed by him, and you do, like, offer discussions with all your like unique postings, and you ask questions. Sometimes you do fun games, sometimes you'll do a little trivia. And I think that even though like you can't show his shows live, like the live tweeting is fun and all that stuff, but maybe you could do like spaces during a big spot, Twitter space, or even a YouTube live of you guys watching it together. Like it'll just show your faces. But what you're doing already, I think, is so much, and I think it makes him look good, but you also help us fans. Like when I joined in, you guys were very welcoming. You followed me right away. You shared my stuff, and you do that for everybody. Like love them, hate them, whatever your personal feelings. I see that you guys don't hold that against anybody. So it's like if it's Ian, you'll share it, you'll retweet it, you'll comment. So I think that's awesome. Like,
well, and that comes from Kathy's sensibility.
Well, I just, I adore the man, and I understand anybody else adoring the man. So, and if he had turned out to be such a jerk or whatever, it would have been totally different. But he's a totally, nice guy, humble guy, everyday guy to me,
No, you didn't exaggerate it at all. Like what I met him, you guys
and you guys know, so it's very easy. It's very easy to support him. It really is. And then just to want the world to know him, truthfully. I mean, I'm always amazed when I come across somebody and I mention them and they don't know who he is. And I'm just like,
I'm always shocked by that, because I'm like, for me, it's like, how do you not know who he is? But I remember somebody telling me once, and I don't know if it came from you guys or somebody else, but somebody said, when you meet him, he's going to make you feel like you've known him forever.
Yes.
And that's
what I've always said, because that's what he did.
And
from
it's
the
exactly
first moment.
True.
It's true, right?
Yeah, he's just,
and we spend so much time with him on our mind that it's hard to imagine people who don't know him, because
I'm so glad you can't see what we're thinking about.
Well, I don't know. He probably knows what we're thinking. Once he gets to know us, he knows what we're thinking.
I gotta tell you though, you gotta give it to Annie. She's such a good sport.
Annie is wonderful.
Without being like this, there's lines. You don't cross those lines. Like my son.
She loves him for who he is, and she knows he's this way. He's silly and flirty and fun, and he's a great husband.
But he's so true blue to her that she doesn't have to worry. I mean, I'm sure she was attracted to the same things that we are about him. He was always more than likely like that.
He just found him before we did. Damn it.
Yeah, if anybody can understand it, she probably can. So, but of course. And,
who's he going home to? Who do you have kids with? I think it's
who has he built a life
with? We need t-shirts that say Team Annie, right?
Yeah, we really do.
Oh, that'd be great.
We really do. That'd be awesome. And she'd love that. I mean,
I would wear one that said Team Tina.
She's the other half of the team for sure. And back in the early days of Cusick Gallery, and Mike can speak to that. I mean, wasn't she great with the group? And as far as oh my gosh.
We did a lot of auctions. They would do auctions for Hawaii youth theater, and then she would get lost items, and then she would take old clothes of his that were going to be sent to the Goodwill, and we would bid on them. So let me go get a pair of pants I won.
Oh, of course. It keeps it preserved, right?
Every night it's like.
But Annie was always great with the Desmond fan. She'd always say, well, I'll get a few extra things, with most of the lost stuff has to be out there because, the money was being raised for the theater, but she always would get just some.
The fact that you're holding them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can't see it. Where is it?
This is Diesel, and these are the pants he wore in the photo shoot where his arms are on the mantle.
Oh yeah,
the bird shirt.
The really hot photos.
I don't think I know that one.
How long is it?
Yes, you do. You've seen
it. So he signed them for me. on his back pocket.
Oh,
Yeah.
how long is the embassy?
How old is what?
How long
I
is
don't know. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, what was he back then? He was,
Come on, my aunt's not being stingy.
It's 31, size 31, made in
my
Italy.
gosh, so little.
They're made
I
in
mean-
Italy. Tyler's a 31.
He used to always wear diesel. I don't know if he wears diesel as much as he does back then, but
Well, they're the
everything was.
torn up ones, so the
Well,
knee-
you never washed them, right? Please
You
tell
just
me.
like holding the
Oh,
cross
heavens
bar.
no.
Yeah. You know, I would wear those every day. I mean, I'm in.
Well, if you were a size, I don't think I can fit into them, but I think
I don't
that
think
all the
I
people-
could either.
I'm a 30.
Listen,
I'm a
a
31.
little secret, all the people
31.
at gallery mods have had them on before.
Yeah, we have
okay.
tried them on.
We just got an exclusive.
I
Oh,
don't even think he knows that, does he? Don't tell him.
We're gonna send him this clip.
There you
No,
go.
don't.
But, Kathy won won a robe.
One is which Annie had called it a dressing gown. His dressing gown he uses, on the show, or the show gave it to him, and I was like, dressing gown? What's a dressing gown? I didn't know what that was. And it's basically a bathrobe. It's his robe that he would put on if he went in his trailer, I guess, and but anyway, so yeah, that was my big thing to win in that auction. I don't know if that was the same auction or another auction, right?
Have you?
And I waited breathlessly. She was the one to mail them all out. I waited and waited. I couldn't believe. I was like, oh. And when it came, this is how Annie, she's so great. She would include a little note inside. She said, check the pocket. And inside the pocket, he had put one of his black hairbands. You know how he always pulled his hair back. And she said, you'll find an extra little treat. She was just like so cool because she knew. And literally, I cried. I can remember sitting down and crying. This fangirl who was so, at the time, I barely
These are
knew
early
him,
days.
did I?
Yeah.
These are the early days. I was like, oh my God, And yes, I wore it every day for I don't know how long. She had spritzed it with his cologne, which back then we were all trying to find out what he wore, that was a big thing. And they wouldn't tell me. They made me guess, both of them. And she said, but smell it. And literally, I went to the store, the department store at the mall. Katie can attest to this because she went with me, thinking her mom was crazy. And I smelled so many colognes. I had them spray them on cards, bring them home, and I found the one. I couldn't believe it because, they wouldn't tell me until I guessed it. And I guessed it, and it was. And back then it was Prada. Remember Prada in the blue box? And when I told him, he said, wow, that's it. Good sleuthing. You got it. So I said, you won't believe what I had to go through to find that out. But I don't know what he wears actually now. It's not the same one, definitely. And I haven't bothered to ask him. I mean, that was the early days when you wanted to know everything.
I gotta tell you, I hate the smell of perfume, so I actually wear cologne.
Do you really?
I wear Sauvage.
Oh, that's nice.
I do not like the perfumes.
It's too strong, right?
So, so I wear Sauvage and I love it. And I get compliments on it all the time. I'm telling you, that's what Ian needs to wear. It's a good.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's mostly all natural for the most.
You'll have to suggest that then.
And you're going to go see him, just bring him a bottle and then
there you go.
Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're pretty expensive for him not to like it. So.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
I just want to ask Lulu how she feels about my having a pair of his jeans and Kathy having
a bathrobe.
And
I have a shirt.
Nothing.
I do have a shirt of his too. Not the blue shirt. The Desmond blue shirt was, of course, the most coveted. And Dean got that, right?
I hate him.
Complete with his mustard stains on it. Remember, he said, "Oh, there's even mustard stains" when I was eating lunch. But yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I know what you're saying. Like, there's so much more we could do.
Right.
And so I have checked myself over the years to go,
should we not?
But I just feel like, I work full time. Like, we have a lot going on. We've got all the different social media sites. And so
I think it's the different social media sites that take up so much.
It really is a 20.
It really is. It can be around
but you guys are responding to stuff. You're retweeting stuff. You're answering people. People
Yeah,
are
I think-
asking you, asking where
I
he
mean,
is.
it's great, but I have such a love-hate relationship with social media in general. Anyways, personally. And
Who
then,
doesn't though? I mean, like not to take away from whatever you feel, but I feel like most of us have a very love-hate relationship with social media.
I mean, it
I
opens
have to
up our
tell you
world.
guys something though, and that is,
Well,
and Tina knows the story. I am convinced that years ago, before I knew who Ian was, that I ran into him in an elevator.
Oh,
And that it
where?
was at the
You might have.
Paradise Pier Hotel. And then years later, I came across pictures of him just by accident. And he was actually like right near there because they were at the park.
Uh-huh.
And Tyler was a teeny little feller, right? And Alec, it was his 10th birthday. So we had t-shirts made that said 10th birthday extravaganza. And all of us that went were wearing them. And I was in. So I remember walking in and like seeing this guy, and he had a little kid with him, and he was saying that they were going to go, they were going down to meet the mom and the brothers or whatever, and which is another reason why I think that. But I remember thinking he was so good looking, I wanted to get another look at him.
Oh.
And I was holding Tyler, and Tyler at that age did not like anybody. He was not a people person. But this guy behind me, Tyler just kept smiling at him. So I was using Tyler as an excuse to be like, this guy was so good looking, and I clearly remember the accent. And I remember thinking, I have to say something to him when he walks out, like, because we were getting out clearly on the same floor, right, the lobby. And I was like, I have to say something, make sure it's something I'll never forget. Right? Here's what I came up with. You guys are welcome to steal it if you want. This is it. Get ready. Have a nice day. That's what I came up with. And I am convinced, and I always want to ask him and be like, did you guys, he stays so many places, but I just didn't want to be like, did you and your family ever stay at the Paradise Pier?
Ask him.
Is it near what city? What city is
Anaheim,
is
California, Disneyland.
Anaheim. So yeah, that could have been.
Yeah, it opened up
That
the
could have been.
California Adventure. It was one of the newer hotels.
Okay.
And so I am absolutely convinced, like there's nothing that could really change my mind. And then I came across pictures, like I said, later on. I'm like, I'm telling you, that is the same guy.
You have
Like, and
to
this
ask
is
him
before
that.
I ever met him. And then it would make sense that when I heard Eric Weber's voice, that I was like, hi, that voice sounds familiar. Right? Like it would kind of a little bit make sense.
Yeah,
Because
sure
I
it
had
would.
never watched Ian in anything before that.
Wouldn't that
And
be
then
wild, though?
yeah,
would
and then
just tell you
I
that
also had to
fate.
mention, so when I started working for Giambios, I was talking to my cousin Leah, and I was like, yeah, that actor I like is actually the spokesperson, blah, blah, blah. Well, then like a month later, she calls me and she goes, oh my God, Ian is Jesus. And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, the Gospel of John. And I laughed so hard. I'm like, maybe not open it like that. Ian is not Jesus, but he played a good one. It was fantastic. It was so funny. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Oh
story
gosh.
too.
Oh gosh.
So Lulu, did you have any questions, my dear?
I don't have any question, but I have something to say.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay. So I have something to say to people who are actually listening to us, because when I first joined the fandom, I was like really shy, and I was scared of talking with people. And like I didn't like really talk with Cusick Gary at first, but like right now, like the girls are just amazing and like so much supportive, and I love them very much. So don't hesitate to talk with them. They're
Aw,
amazing.
you're so
Thank you.
sweet, Lulu. I
It's
love you,
actually-
Lulu.
It's
I
actually
love
funny.
you.
It is funny because Lulu, you
Yeah.
and a couple other people I came in after. I would introduce you guys because you were too afraid.
Yeah.
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 But
We try and follow Ian's lead on friendliness and openness and inclusivity and all of that,
oh
like,
yeah, I've seen that
Right.
with you, Mark.
he sets the
Yeah.
tone.
He
So
does. I mean, we try because, we're, he sets the bar really high, but, if we're representing him, we need to do the same.
I just
Good
like
point.
that you're kind and share stuff, but you also call bullshit out. Like if someone says something, off
Well,
color, or it's a bit too much, or not you don't have to be a dick
well,
about it, which I don't think
Right.
you guys are dicks about.
I've been a dick about it. In
well,
fact,
and like,
I just have to say my favorite message I've ever received from was, I'm not gonna say what I posted, so if anybody watches this, but she messaged me and said, "You're my hero." And that's all it said.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
that
I
was
got a
sweet.
similar message actually, because I find the fandom can be a bit competitive sometimes. So when
Definitely.
you guys are posting and you're trying to be first and on the edge and all this stuff, and sometimes you'll grab something and you don't realize where you grabbed it, and then people are
Mhm.
accusing you of
Yeah.
it's like, bro, we're on the same team. Like
Right.
Right.
you're not getting an
Right.
award for
Yeah.
posting at first. Like, what does it matter where it
Right.
came from? I
Right.
never understood that.
Yeah, I
So-
don't feel like we're in a competition every day to be the first to post. We like to be the first to post sometimes. We don't have any other insider information. It doesn't come out from us until it comes out from Ian or
Right.
the company or the show or whatever.
Because he likes to surprise. I'm
He
convinced he
loves to
likes to
surprise
surprise.
Yeah.
You know,
So he won't tell
Definitely.
us a lot because
Yeah.
he wants us to, he likes how excited everybody gets, I think, so.
Yeah, but you guys have a different, like, there's a lot. I've seen jealousy towards you guys because you're
for
the
sure.
official fan club, and you've been in his fandom for a long time. So I've seen what people will try to make Cusick Gallery look bad.
And that just comes though, I think, with the territory and usually from people who really don't know us. I think if anybody does try, take the time to get to know us, they'll see that there's,
See,
But you
different
guys
people.
really were the first that I know. Like I think Mai was the first to message me about an edit, and then Kathy, you after that. So it was like, to me, it was
What
very
was it?
welcoming, and you guys like
listen,
made me want to do more stuff. Like
I love all that stuff. I love
Love it.
everything you do. And Mai does too. All of us do because we are limited in what we do. I always call us old school. I guess because we're the oldies. We just,
so what?
and
Right.
social media has evolved so much and technically what you can do. And it's just awesome. I mean, I love seeing
Yeah.
everything. I love seeing the gifts, the videos, the
Yep.
artwork,
Yep.
there's just so much that, and I'm not artsy at all. I always feel like, so, I'm glad to have all that, that
And to
when
have
we
somewhere
can turn around and
to
share.
house it,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that people can
exactly.
go see it later,
Yeah, that's what
And that's
basically
why,
we
like,
like to do.
we don't have very many other sites linked to our homepage, but we have Tina's.
Yeah. Her Tumblr. Do you have her Tumblr? She had so many gifts on the Tumblr.
I do. I have Tina's
I went back
Tumblr.
and looked.
Aw.
Yeah, I looked back at that just the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot all these on there." But
Yeah.
I know
they're so good.
he appreciates it. He messaged me. It was the first time he ever messaged
Yeah.
me unprovoked about the
Uh-huh.
gift of him.
He
Oh,
loves
loves
gifts.
those, yeah.
He loves
Yeah,
gifts.
and he was
I've probably dropped the ball on some of them. I mean, he had originally told me he wanted some even on his site. He said, "Can you
Yeah.
put some gifts up?"
all the ones on his
Gladly.
site are so
I'll put,
good.
yeah, but I'm so behind with those. I've got to do a lot of work on there,
But
but
we
I
have
should
so
put up
much to look
I'll put the
forward
boxing ones up. He'll like
Yeah.
those. I know
He
he will.
likes
But
it, yeah,
the character ones, I had wanted to have at least 4 or 5 from each character that he's done so far. And I know I don't have that on there. I have to go back and look at
But
all
we have a
that,
lot to
but
look forward to. I mean, the Wind of the Reckoning's still coming out, right?
we
Yep.
sure hope so. It's supposed to be this year. I
A
mean,
Million Followers is coming out. Jamo Jaya is coming out. Now
Yes,
it's
we
gonna be
got
on
a
Big
lot.
Sky. Like we have a lot. Like it's gonna get.
I know,
Right.
and I'm supposed to be spending this downtime, spoofing up the website and stuff, and
and we're
I'm
kind
not.
of just what being because all of a sudden, what happens? It all comes out at once, and
Does.
then talk about like frenzy. You just can't keep up with everything. And
Right.
that's probably what's going to happen. And then don't forget about Awaken. Awaken still is coming at some
Awaken,
point.
that's right.
Right.
And what else? And then of course now Avery. I love it that he has all these different names. I'm like, ooh, Avery, a new man.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope he
But,
gets something more permanent. Like 'cause I think,
oh yeah.
yeah, Avery's not so much. a regular, right? He's gonna be.
Well, when they say reoccurring, and this is always my question, well, reoccurring, is reoccurring just something more than one episode? I mean, like, is it 2 episodes? Is it 10 episodes? Is it 5 episodes? You know, and that we don't know yet because, you know, like we say, we don't know much more than everybody else knows,
you
really.
guys don't
And
know
he
anything.
will not say. I mean, occasionally, you know, if we try to ask, even if you try to ask, sometimes though, no, he wants to keep it, you know, a
The
spy.
thing
So,
is, though, is like when he did Lost, though, wasn't that only supposed to be
a
Three
3
episodes.
and then
episodes.
he got, you know, everybody started
Yeah.
writing and, you know,
Right.
wanting him
It was
back,
a-
and then look what
it was a-
happened. Like,
And
it's
if you
like,
have watched Big Sky, they have made some reoccurring regulars. I know of
That's right.
2 for sure. So since what I've seen so far.
So,
So it's not
yeah,
impossible, or
He
it's
was-
not like they don't do it, but
right.
it's 3 episode arc for Lost. He was a guest star.
so
star.
it wasn't called reoccurring. It wasn't called reoccurring.
right.
even. Okay.
But
guest
you know, I
star.
think some of that has changed a little bit over the years. So I'm anticipating, I'm anticipating 5, but that's just a magical number in my head. It's what
5
I
would
probably
be
want to
great.
see. But
5 would
yeah,
be great.
so
Yeah, so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully we do learn more as the process goes on, but you know, I mean, it starts in September. So
Right.
it's not
Coming up.
long away.
You guys don't know anything new about MacGyver either, right? As far as
No, I mean, I tell you, I've never seen, I will say, a group of fans, and I thought Lost fans were but I got to give it to them. It's been over a year now, and they
Yeah.
are still fighting to get that show back.
But I thought I
mean, they-
heard that they were like in the process of like something big was happening, or I thought I heard like a few weeks
well,
ago.
the lawsuit's over. Whatever lawsuit was going on.
Right.
Yeah, so now
the
they
lawsuit.
could do it if they wanted to. Like I heard,
Right.
but that doesn't mean they're going to.
Right.
So,
There's a lot
And
of
there's-
hope out there, but I don't know.
They
yeah.
just
I
canceled
can-
Magnum too. so.
It would be great. I mean, it would be awesome. And there are a lot of different platforms now it could go to. I mean, you know, not even, it doesn't have to be the networks, the major networks, you know, and that's where I think they're now directing all their interest to, is the other streaming
I'm
platforms.
Well, like
Which-
Netflix, Hulu, all those things.
Yeah,
You know,
all
Peacock
those.
now, like,
Right.
you know,
There's
all
so
have these
many.
huge things. I personally would love to see Ian and something like that, where it's something that's going to be streamed, just because there's so much, it's open to so much more creativity than if you have
Right.
it on a network.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think, and, you know, with Ian's acting chops and well, his good looks, I think it'd be really cool to have him and something like that. So
That would be
you know,
awesome.
that would be neat. I would love to see him in something like an Ozark type show or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that, where it's
gosh.
like a thriller. I think he would be
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I was telling
Yeah.
Tina a few days ago, I wish he liked scary stuff, you know. I know that he doesn't, but I would have
Mhm.
loved to have seen him in something that was a
Scary.
bit scary. Like I would
Yeah.
have really dug that, you know, just because, you know, horror
And I'd
is my
watch.
favorite platform.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know.
I'd watch, you know, that's not my favorite genre either, but I would watch obviously that. And I have watched some scary, you know, things. I mean, I
Really,
think
like
Big
what?
Sky is kind of scary. Have you watched it all? Tina, where are you at Big Sky? It's kind of a
I'm
thriller.
only on episode
Scary.
3, but it is a little creepy.
It is a little creepy and kind of scary. Sunny,
I think
how
it's
much
up
have
my
you seen
alley.
of it?
I haven't seen anything. I saw the
Oh,
trailer.
Big Sky?
That's it.
Oh, well,
yeah.
you
The
gotta
trailer-
watch
I
it.
like the
You
trailer.
will like it. Sunny will like it, right?
will like
I
Sunny's
it,
a
mean,
yeah.
psychopath. She will definitely.
yeah, well,
It's just
Sunny, you gotta start watching it. You gotta watch it then. I know it's Hulu. So if you don't have Hulu,
I have Hulu.
oh, do you? Okay, it's
Yeah.
worth it to
Oh.
get it to watch
She's
it,
got a big
or
one. I got
you know. We were
show
really
you.
surprised, you know, and usually Gary doesn't even get into shows like that, but it's held his
Maybe Gary-
attention.
Yeah.
Hmm. And David and
Maybe.
Katie, we started it there, and they are already finished. They blew through both
Really?
episodes.
That's the
both
only
seasons.
downside. If Ian did something like that, like I'm someone that'll binge it, and then what are you left with? You gotta wait Like,
I know.
You have to
Well,
wait
I
a
just told
long
him,
time.
okay, now you guys got to watch season 3 because that's the one. I told them Ian's coming in it, so they're like, okay, we wonder what he's gonna, is he gonna be bad guy, good guy? Because you have both in that show, and
I'd like to see him
I'm
as
like-
the bad guy. Like
I think I
he
would
does
too.
really great is,
such a good
like
band.
Eric Weber, man, that was like
That was really
did such a great job. Like it was a disgusting character at the end, but
and considering
he
coming right
did
from
well.
Desmond,
Right.
that was
Yeah.
the first
And
character
Desmond,
after
I thought,
Desmond.
was such a beautiful romantic character. Like those scenes with Sonia when he's, on the bleachers and all that stuff.
Right.
That stuff really got me. Like, and I'm not really into like romance films per se, but that was really good. I've watched a few.
Oh, you're right. Like
I know, but it's also
Yeah.
some of it's pure sex too. Like,
Well,
so,
yeah, well.
I mean, the
Oh.
fan fiction's great, but now I'm trying to move on to some more.
What? Well, the
Mature
devotional
type
book is
stuff.
great. Your devotional is great.
I'm
The
glad you
Breakaway
like it. Have you been?
does. I really do.
You've been reading it still?
Yeah, I keep it. It sits on my nightstand right next to my
Yeah.
bed because that's the best way for me to read it daily is just to have it there within sight and remember.
Yeah, I'm
oh,
thinking
yeah.
about promoting
know.
it so that Amazon has it. You pay a certain amount of money, and if somebody looks up a devotional, those are the top.
Oh,
And because
that's a good
everybody, the
idea.
most compliments or things I've received about it is because it's a lot of devotionals are just a quick little snippet of something. and
Yeah.
they actually
Right, you
kind
go
of
into
get
detail.
because of the things I've been through.
Mhm.
And I try to share that to come from a more personal level as to why it has worked for me. But thank you, Kathy. That's a nice
Yeah,
compliment.
no,
I'm glad
that's
you're
what I
enjoying it.
like about it, because I have other devotionals and they are usually for each day you get a little paragraph, it's like a short little thing with a verse and that's it maybe. But I
Right.
love how, you interpret it personally, your stories, you can relate to it even more so. So
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Kathy. I appreciate
love it.
that.
I
I'm
love it.
actually, I was just telling my that I'm working on a new book, and it's going to be a horror book. So I said, leave it to me to go from a devotional
to the
like,
horror.
"Ah, scary."
Wow.
So we'll see how that plays out. So
Stephanie King.
anyway, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
So Tina, we have 5 minutes left. Would you like to share our news of the the
Oh, we
podcast?
only have
Thoughts,
5.
people?
Okay, so my brain is always running. I have run
Picking.
when I first met Mai. I ran all these ideas through, and she was super supportive. And then it got shot down, I think, by a couple of you, Cusick. I don't
What?
hold anything against y'all, but so
Okay.
anyhow, moving forward. First of all, I think that video we did for Ian's birthday was awesome, and that
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
I want to do something like that again.
Oh, good.
But so my brain did a thing, and I was like, the podcast is cool, and we do the Instagram lives, and I was like, we should host a Henry Ian Cusick trivia night once a month, and have 2 to 4 contestants, and
Oh, that would be fun.
offer them like maybe autographs and all that. So we ran it, by Ian, and he was like, we were like, is it okay because it's in his name?
Right.
And he was
Right.
like, yeah. So I don't know.
That would be
He
fun.
might just buy the autographs if he can't like send them, because he's probably busy now.
Actually, I've got some autographs here. I always have him sign some just, generic. I mean, it's not a message or anything. Usually he'll just put aloha, H.I.
Well-
Cusick or whatever that I could send you some. I
Yeah,
have
no,
some still.
I don't think
And-
personal will really work, but I was gonna say I think it would be cool to have the Cusick Gallery as our first contestants.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, we're gonna
And we-
win, so.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna
that's the
win.
thing.
Maybe
No,
you
no,
The thing
will. I
is,
don't
not
know.
each winner is going to win something that week.
No,
We
no,
had
no,
agreed
no,
on
no,
was
right,
that, like,
yeah.
No. You
Yeah.
girls not understanding. You
We
would
can't
play-
win.
No. You would play against each other.
Oh,
We
wow.
would play against each other.
It's
Oh,
2
man.
4
That's
contestants. We
historic.
are.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. So in pairs.
So
That would
who's
be-
the biggest Cusick Gallery
Oh, man.
You know,
Well, you know
and-
who has a brain and remembers every little detail? Who, man? It's
Ashley.
Ashley. Ashley, you can ask her anything 10 years ago. Oh, that was blah, 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 blah. What, da, da, da. And I'm like,
Ashley, you
holy
can't
hell.
come on.
But you know,
So,
we've
I
got
mean-
30 years on her, so go. for
yeah,
it.
it's our, we're the old brains. We tell her, yeah, we're 30 years older, Ashley. But
Listen.
we're glad you're here because she is just, you can't remember something? Go to Ashley.
What
She
what
has
we
it.
could do is mess with Ashley's internet and say, like, we didn't see her raise her hand or whatever. So we could
There
help you out.
go. There you go.
Because she'll probably get everyone, right? I don't know. But,
Well, we're gonna announce all the details. You guys think about it, let us know. But I think it would be
Okay.
Fun. No, I've wanted to
Okay.
do posts with trivia, but just have never gotten around to it. I think it's brilliant.
yeah, no, but
Yeah.
I got the idea because you guys used to do that. You used to
Right.
do the
that.
contest, the trivia, and then you would do those cool games where like Russ was looking down at something and you would have the fans.
Oh, caption
Oh,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that on our
Caption
Yeah,
message
those were
board.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Caption it.
Yeah, but we
We're
would
gonna
do
go
it
out
on the
people?
message board, but it was like private, so we could get.
Well, you could do that on
raunchy.
Facebook, You could do Facebook private groups and all that.
Gotcha.
Oh.
I just don't know if I don't know if I trust the general fans enough to not screen cap.
No. You have to
Watch
like
it,
people
or- yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because people leak shit out.
Yeah,
all
it's a
the time.
different world today with the.
You can't trust
with-
anybody. Like Lulu.
We actually had, I know we've only got a minute left. We actually had a group of us decided to call ourselves the Saucy Lasses. And we had,
Yeah. Oh,
we had our
God.
own small private group where we kind of got ribald with our comments and oogling of Ian, and it was just a good time. So
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
But there, you could trust everybody in there. We knew what we were saying was there, and that
Well,
was it. That's been 15 years ago, but yeah, those were fun.
Even the
But,
Twitter
it's
group-
different.
Yeah.
I mean, we wish it could still be like that. I just don't know if they're.
now you got people taking screenshots. They're trying to. explain
Yeah, there's just
something.
so much,
It's like, oh my God, you said Ian was hot and you like his nipple. All of a sudden, you're an asshole.
exactly.
I know. I know.
She likes his nipple. What kind of a fan is she?
Yeah, give me a fucking break, bro. Like, you trying to cancel me? I'm gonna come back pervier.
And then there's Ian showing his nipples, right? So
Yeah.
You guys, we have less than a minute, so we need to close it out.
Okay.
So are you
All
guys
right.
ready? So what we do is we're gonna hit our fist.
Well,
and then
first, I just want to
box
say thank you for
people
joining us.
out.
Go to
yeah.
cusickgallery.net.
Thank
Follow
you
them
for
on
inviting us.
and come
Thank you
back
for inviting
anytime.
us.
Okay, let's
All
hurry.
right.
All right, with
Okay,
that,
what
box people. There we go. Out.
Okay.
Bye, you guys. Thank
Bye,
you for
guys.
coming on.
Good chatting.
Bye.